I was just telling Gil that, I mean, there's certain people that are just incredibly talented.
And give us hope, these young people with all that talent. Beautiful. All right. Speaking of beautiful, it's time for Virtually Rick.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Hey,
you.
she didn't call for you yet, Rick.
It's all in its own way. So listen, he's here for a very vital and important reason. This Monday, the Electoral College that we hear so much about, where it's going to meet, and they're going to vote for the president and vice president of the United States. That's how it works. But everyone goes, how does that work? What is the Electoral College? So this after the American people's votes are counted, challenged, recounted, and certified in favor of President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Then what happens? Our Rick Adams, he's going to join us now in studio this morning to break down how the Electoral College works. All right, make it easy to understand so we can digest it and understand it.
Guys, I mean, honestly, ask the British guy to explain it to you. That's like throwing me under the bus, seriously. Like, all you guys can hear is, the king's coming, the king is coming, throw away the tea. Okay, anyway.
You got this.
Nobody does it quite as good as you.
I will do my best. Okay, here we go. Mel Wiesel. Well, it's not that anymore, is it? It's Kel Wiesel.
Kel Wiesel.
Anyway, this is without doubt a long shot from the president with less than a week until state electors meet to cast their votes. His hope to interrupt a system that our nation has used to successfully elect a president every 4 years for hundreds of years in a row. And in this Virtually Rick, we take a closer look, not just at the system itself, but what could be done to change the outcome. Let's roll it, Juan.
Our democracy is about fairness. It's about one person, one vote, one result. And every vote counts, right? Actually, no, it doesn't quite work like that. Oh. The general election is actually 51 separate elections all happening at once, on the same day. The presidential candidate with the most votes in your state, the most popular, is the winner of that state's election, the popular vote. So when you vote for a presidential candidate, you're basically telling your state which candidate you'd like it to vote for.
This one.
And they do that using electors from the winning party of your state's election. Except Maine and Nebraska, who just have to be different and can award electors to more than one candidate. Show-offs. Then, on December the 14th, those electors represent you and your state and send off their votes. There are 538 Electoral College votes, and the first candidate to get more than half, with 270, wins.
What's interesting in this rather complex process is that there isn't a federal or constitutional law that makes the electors vote according to the popular vote results in their state. Although some states do require a commitment either by state law or to get them to make a pledge to a political party. Either way, the Electoral College has worked since, that's 232 years, relying on the electors' good faith and this delicate little thing called morality. Whatever the heck that is.
But what if an elector goes rogue and chooses how they'd like to vote freely? Well, they're called faithless electors. Some states will fine or even replace them for doing it. This year, though, the Supreme Court decided the Constitution doesn't require the electors to be able to be free to act as they wish, which is still a bit vague. So could this happen now? Well, it's massively rare. Throughout history, electors have largely stuck to the plan because they're nearly always extremely loyal party members. And whatever President Trump does try to do, it's an extraordinarily difficult and improbable task, and highly unlikely to change the outcome. Also, the differing laws of each state make it a minefield of improbability. But today, if the Supreme Court were to intervene and grant more powers to, say, state legislatures to behave in a more partisan manner, then you can most likely kiss goodbye to any kind of truly fair election.
Oh, brother.
This bizarre system wasn't exactly beloved by our founding fathers either. Right, guys?
That's right, Rick, yes.
No, they created the Electoral College because they were tired and they couldn't agree on anything else. Many were pretty against it, hoping others would see sense and choose a national popular vote instead. And as the Electoral College is based on that anyway, why not?
Exactly. Good point, Rick.
Thanks, guys.
Good idea.
Well, good luck, because amending the Constitution is never easy to achieve. And even though many scholars believe the popular vote would actually be far fairer to both Republicans and Democrats, there's just too much mistrust. But the really sad thing is, despite what's being said of our 2020 election, we actually have an electoral system that is still proven to be consistently fair, secure, and an effective election process, overseen by great American patriots from both Republican and Democratic parties to ensure its success. In the future, let's hope that cooler heads and moral hearts prevail, or else the US will no longer be able to make the claim that it's the greatest democracy on earth, but merely the most disappointing democracy in the world.
Wow, you went there.
You did go there.
A strange and complicated process that's worked for hundreds of years, so there's no reason to believe it won't work now. 10 points if your brain isn't a melting pool of Jell-O after that explanation. And 20 points, whatever. But anyway, in the Second World War, they probably actually used that to determine whether or not you were a spy, because if you could explain what the Electoral College was, then you were definitely a spy.
Yeah, well, you just did it. You just did it, and we feel
No one could tell
smarter.
us like you. I mean, I think I understand it better.
I do, and I just think it's ridiculous.
It's
It's
exactly
like, why
what
are we
it
still
is.
doing this? It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Well, we'll see if that's taken up in the new administration. Perhaps it will be, you never know. But in the meantime, good morning, Hermosa Beach. You know what Hermosa means in Spanish, don't you?
Yes.
Beautiful.
That, you took the words out of my
I thought
mouth.
it was a drink.
Make it a gorgeous Wednesday, everyone. Look at those beautiful flowers. God is good.